So, a very good morning to each one of you. Hello, Ramraj. Hello, Bharat. So, सबसे पहले, first thing first, big welcome to all of you. Right. This is a new beginning for you all, and I'll make sure that you are with me from the very beginning. So that is why we decided to keep these introduction sessions, orientation sessions, revision sessions before we actually begin with the classes, so that we are completely into the subject, we are oriented with the subject, and then when we begin at a very high point. So even before I say anything, let me just see where you people are from. What were your thoughts this morning? So I'll just share what was I thinking this morning. So I was thinking from your perspective that whenever we begin something new, there is a lot of energy. So I just want one promise from you. Whatever energy that you joined today's class with, if it was a high energy, then promise yourself that you're going to maintain that energy till October, because that is going to be the real test. Many people begin on a very high note, but they're not able to end it with a high note. If you're with me for the same energy for next 6 months, I promise you, PSIR is not going to be your pain point. So let us, first start by me hearing from you as to, do you have any background in political science? How many of you are absolutely new to the subject? Some I'm aware of, some I'm not aware. So let me know. You ever had it in your graduation, post graduation, or is it a new subject? And also, how is your energy today? How do you feel? Are you excited? Are you happy? Yes. So Veera says, I was extremely excited and I've been since the last 15 days of PSI dictionary. Oh, awesome. I promise to keep up the energy. That is the energy that I want. That is the excitement that I need. Others, how do you feel this morning? And have you ever read political science before, or it's an absolutely new subject to you? Jaldi, jaldi. Ramraj, Bharat, awesome. Tamanna says she's from Rajasthan and she has done her BA in political science honors and she's also doing her masters. Okay, ठीक है. Awesome. So Veera says that I'm new to the subject and it has not been part of my previous education. For me, it's all the same. So don't worry. If you're absolutely new, we're going to start from the basic. And I've been clarifying this since ever, that even if you are with the subject, you're going to find something new. So Indranil says, good morning. I'm absolutely new to PSIR, but I'm really, yeah. So you can be new, but you should be excited. That's what I need. Little bit nervous, Ramraj. Koi baat nahi. It's okay to be a bit nervous. It's fine. I've been feeling excited since yesterday evening for these classes. Roshni, amazing. Happy that you're teaching the course. Thank you. Only studied political science and IA from GS perspective. Okay, you had attended the GS advanced classes. Wonderful, Roshni. Welcome on board. Bharat says, I'm from Tamil Nadu and I have no background in PSIR, no problem. Jagdish says, I have read political science from you in Shashank Sajwan sir batch. Oh, okay, okay. Awesome, Jagdish. Uh, Payan Pyankasan, can you please tell me what should be the correct pronunciation of your name? And my apologies already. Please correct me and I'll take note of it. Political science was my master's, cleared my net, and taught in various colleges. Okay, awesome, wonderful. That's so nice. I'm very happy to see somebody with that background coming here. Daily Dictionary was nice. I'm so happy. It's going to continue. That's a promise. Tamanna says, and I promise to maintain this energy. Annamula, good morning, ma'am. I'm from Hyderabad and I don't have any background. That's okay. Sahiti, nice name. Good morning, ma'am. I've done my BA in political science. Awesome, awesome. Ansh says that he has done his BTech in computer science and this subject is new to him. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, I'll call you San then. I'm from Mumbai, super excited, new to the subject, coming from Essentials course. Okay. I'm studying political science as my majors in DU. Okay, okay. I have taught at Shivaji College for a while, Amandeep. So yes, nice. DU has some good faculty for political science. Awesome. Tamanna says that she is following me on Insta and she loves my content. Lovely. So beautiful to interact with you all. Now, what we are going to do is, I know every minute that you spend here is crucial, but it is also important for me to know you people. Because unlike your basic courses where we meet for a brief period of time, I'm going to be with you for 6 long months. So understand that it is important for me to understand where are you from, what are your difficulty areas, are you a fresher? So why I'm asking all of this to you today is because we are going to be together for 6 months and more. 6 months to hai, But beyond that, I would like to maintain connection. We'll, of course, help you with your mains revision, etc. So that's why we want to be on the same page. Pulkita, good morning. Very good morning to you, Pulkita. Aniket, ma'am, I had political science as one of my subjects in graduation. Okay. But to be more effective in it, I'd enroll in PSIR. Okay. Okay, you are not satisfied. No problem. You'll be fine here. Aniket. One thing that I'm confident of in life is my teaching. Uske alawa I'm not confident about anything else. Not clothes, not makeup, not food, not jhadu pocha. The only thing that I'm confident of is कि पढ़ा मैं अच्छा लेती हूँ. Okay. Chalo, so let's get started. I have some exciting things for you and I'll brief you about everything. So, is the screen visible to you? And are we good to go? Can we begin? Lovely, lovely, awesome. Awesome. Perfect, perfect. Chalo then, let's get started. So let me first tell you, my dear students, why we are here for today. Of course, the formal classes begin from 20th of April. I hope you people have had a look at the course schedule. But these 3 days are very important. And then we have given you 2 days ka break, that is Saturday, Sunday. And then we begin with the very first topic from 20th of April. And this is not random. We have done it for a reason. And I'm going to tell you exactly everything as to why these are designed in this way and what is expectation from you. And then towards the end of the session, my dear students, I'm going to take all your queries. Okay, so for the next 1 hour, it's going to be about an hour-long session today. So for next 1 hour, you should listen to me very, very carefully. I'll just take 1 more minute. For the next 1 hour, you should listen to me very carefully. Reason being, whatever I'm going to say is going to define the basics here. And you know why are basics important? Because eventually these basics are going to help us in getting sorted for your course ahead. तो अगर हमारा basic foundation अच्छा हो जाएगा, then everything else is going to settle fine. Just a minute. Awesome. So सबसे पहले, my dear students, this is your schedule. This is how our days are going to look like. So please take note of this schedule. Today, that is Wednesday, which we are here for in today's session. I'm going to take you through the syllabus mapping. So basically, I'm going to help you understand what political science is. I'm going to tell you where we are going to start, why there is a lot of confusion about these 4 sections, and which section we are going to start with, how are they integrated with each other. Basically, this is the very foundation. This is the very base that you need to know even before we orient you to the class schedule. So today is about the introduction to the optional. Today is about understanding the syllabus. Today is understanding as to how you should be approaching this subject. Now tomorrow, my dear students, is about class 9th NCRT, class 11th NCRT. Now I'm sure some of you may be wondering कि मैम 11th के NCRT क्यों पढ़ा रहे हो आप? Why are you teaching us class 11th का NCRT? So my dear students, the section that we are beginning with is your paper 1 part B. So we are beginning with part B of your syllabus, and that is very highly connected with your Indian polity. So it's all about how India works. And a very beautiful NCRT that kind of gives you all the basic information for this is your Our Constitution at Work. Now, amongst all the students who are here today, some of you may have read it already. Some of you may not have read it, right? And that's absolutely okay. Technically, that is not part of your syllabus, but I want you to have a good revision of that NCRT. So basically what I'll be doing is, I'll be picking up the most important parts of that NCRT, basically the conceptual parts, and I'm going to walk you through all those parts tomorrow for about 2.5 hours. You can think of it like a revision of that NCRT if you have already done it. You can think of it as base building if you have not done it already. My expectation from you is, after tomorrow's class, I'll be giving you some short notes based on class 11th NCRT. My expectation from you is, for the next 3 days, you should be a little invested in those notes. क्यों ऐसा चाहती हूँ मैं? Why do I want that? Because when we are going to begin with the very first chapter, if you have a good understanding about judiciary, if you know, okay, what is a constitution, or if you are very clear about what is local self-government, your fundamental knowledge is going to be strong. And the pillars that you are going to construct are then going to stay for long. That is why, my dear students, on 16th of April, we have kept a rapid revision of your class 11th NCRT. 17th of April is your orientation. Now, what is orientation, ma'am? Today's introduction, then you're giving orientation also. Orientation would be setting our expectations right. तो जब भी आप कभी आगे प्लान करें to get married, so there should be a day of your orientation. Always keep an orientation day. Orientation day is, this is what I expect from you, who is going to cook, who is going to take care of the dishes, who is going to take care of, if you plan to have babies, who is going to take night duties, day duties. That is setting the expectations right. उससे क्या होता है, the person in front of you knows this is exactly what is expected of me, and then you work accordingly. So what you do now, so we have no chance of severing the contact, but on 17th of April, I'll tell you how exactly these classes proceed. We start with how I'm going to give you the notes. I'll tell you what is the use of PPTs, how these PPTs have to be used. I'm going to tell you what is expected from you. Do you have to make summary notes? How we are going to go about revision? How mentorship is going to take place? What are the books that you should be reading? Should you be reading books or not? So basically, orientation session would be about how do we proceed with the classes? What is my expectation from you? And what expectation should you have from me? This is what we mean by orientation. So once we are settled with the orientation, we are giving you 2 days off, that is 18th and 19th, to absorb all of this, get started, buy folders if you have to, clean up your desk, revise your short notes of NCERT, and be ready from Monday onwards for the class to begin. So this is the schedule, like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20th is when we begin with our classes. Now, I've made sure that everything is clarified to you in great detail. Somebody suggested, ki ma'am, please, so I had very dry and dull PPTs in my last classes. So somebody suggested in my last class, matlab with the previous batch, ki ma'am, why don't you make your PPTs more attractive? And I was like, fair enough. A lot of tools these days are available, and we should not be living in the old decade. So I've taken some good advice, and now I've also made my PPTs a bit more. Halaki, I'll still maintain that it should be minimal. I don't think there should be too much pictures and too much of a disturbance in your PPT. Why I say that is because then our focus should be on content. Because remember, we are not here for show attribute. We are here for preparing for an exam. But that's my personal view. You may agree or disagree. Usse yaad aaya, any feedbacks from you are most welcome. I'm always open to feedbacks. I would take them with a lot of love, provided they are put up in a good way. I mean, please don't use harsh language. Otherwise, if you have any feedbacks, I've taken a lot of feedbacks, and I'll be very, very happy to take feedbacks from you. And we can also improve through the course of the journey. And I have taken feedback from my previous batches and inculcated them in the present batch as well. And you are going to see that as we proceed. So this was, my dear students, the schedule for you. Now, let me tell you something that should set your mood right from day one. You are at a very advantageous position. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you are starting early. And why do I say it is an advantage? Because a lot of students right now are contemplating which optional to take. While that's not wrong, everybody has a different journey. Some may be confused. But the good thing is you have not only zeroed down, the fact that you are here today is an advantage because you are starting early, and that's an exact way to make sure that you complete your optional before you have to switch to your prelims preparation. If you begin sincerely from 20th of April, you can very safely complete the syllabus by October. In fact, revise by November, and that's going to change the way you will function from December onwards. अभी ये छोटी बात लग रही होगी. Right now, it may look like a very small thing to you, but this gives you a very big advantage of going into depth. And this can actually turn in your favor with respect to marks, with respect to rank, and with respect to service. So one thing you've already done right is because you have started on time. However, इसमें एक problem है which I want to clarify. Sometimes we begin early, sometimes we begin right, but we are not able to take advantage of it. And I don't want you to do that. Please make sure that because you have started early, you take advantage of this start. Sometimes what happens is We have an advantage served to us, but we are not able to take complete use of it. So promise yourself that I'll make use of this early beginning and I'm going to absolutely be on track with the schedule, with the classes. Abhi kya hai? You're not under pressure. What happens when you start late is you see the length of the syllabus and you're like, okay, chalo justice to aise kar lete. Let's do justice like that only. Right now, you know that I can go in depth. I can listen to all the lectures carefully. I can get the clarity that I need. And trust me, that clarity is going to be your edge. See, I pray that none of you have to give more than one attempt. But let's be realistic. The exam is such that sometimes you may end up giving even 6 attempts. We don't know. I'm not praying this for you, but that's the reality. And one thing that is going to stay with you is your optional, is your PSIR. So hold very steadily to this optional. Be very, very consistent. There is no pressure right now. Build absolute clarity so that the advantage that you have right now of starting early is able to convert into real advantage. That is lesson number 1 for you today. You're starting early. Remind yourself you started for a reason. So you have to make sure that you take advantage of it. And for that, you don't have to do anything extra. You just have to attend classes regularly. Do what I'm trying to tell you. Read your notes, make summary notes, write answers, and you are sorted. कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, that I'm here for today. But that is going to be your promise number 1. So are my students aligned? Is the energy the same? Are we here? What have I told you so far? I've given you a brief idea as to how the timelines would look like. And then I've told you why beginning early is an advantage and how you should be taking 100% use of it in your favor. Shivani says a yes. Suvira says a yes. Others, Tamanna says a yes. Baki sare log yahi hain kya? Are we 100% here? Are we aligned? Beautiful, lovely, awesome. Roshni, Tehreem, wonderful, beautiful, lovely. Bharat. Okay. Now, a little context with regards to UPSC and how do we connect it with syllabus. So once you begin, most of you would feel like, let me gather more and more. So let me read more. Let me get more notes. ठीक है, मैम ने एक notes दे दिया. Ma'am has given a set of notes, but I want more. Okay, let me buy one more magazine. Okay, let me, also attend one more strategy session. See, once you're here, I'm assuming that you have some faith on me. That's why you are here. There's so many options. But if you're here, I hope that you have some degree of faith and confidence that, okay, if I'm here, I'll be given something useful, fruitful, that is going to help me translate my performance into marks. Keep that faith and don't make it a knowledge test, particularly your optional. So I'm not saying you'll not have to memorize. I'm not saying you don't need notes. I'm not saying you don't need any content. Of course, you need content, but that content needs to be organized, understood. You need to have conceptual clarity. You don't have to focus on any random source available in the market that's going to confuse you. So I'm going to exactly tell you how do you integrate. I'm not saying don't do value addition. I'm not saying make all your answers the same. I'm not saying that. But don't pick up every other source available in the market. And be very clear about it from day one that this is going to be my source and I'm going to stick to this source. If you don't have faith in my notes, by the way, I've taken a lot of time curating them. My graduation, post-graduation, preparation time, the standard books available. We have done 3 iterations. And those notes are actually the notes that you need. And no, there are no AI slops. A lot of AI slops are available in the market these days. Please refrain from using it. See, you know and I know that we can't anymore say that we don't use AI. Everybody is using AI and that's fine. What is dangerous is asking for AI to give you direct information where there is a lot of hallucination. बहुत ज़्यादा hallucinations करता है AI, and I'm not saying it to just, kind of put in a picture where I'm refraining you people from using AI. Please use AI, but very, very smartly. So no, the notes are not AI slop, which are there all over the place. Ki prompt de diya and it is generating anything for you and you are reading it. I'll exactly also tell you how do you use AI. So we are going to use AI, but only in places where it matters. Diagrams बनाने के लिए, pictures बनाने के लिए, tables बनाने के लिए, not for core content. We can even use it for summary making, but not for core content as of yet. So be very careful. Don't pick up random sources. Don't pick up any other book available in the market. Pick up a book that you have faith in, the notes that you have faith in, and stick to it. And please, आज ही बोल दे रही हूँ, मैं आंसर्स बहुत लिखवाऊंगी. I am going to make you write a lot of answers. And you are going to write those answers. So whatever your fears were, please dump them and come to the class. We don't want any excuses with respect to answer writing. Because at the end of the day, what is going to determine your marks is going to be what you have written in your copies. Nobody cares how many years you have read political science for. The examiner has no business. The examiner knows you for what you have written in the copy. And that's all matters. उसके अलावा कोई बात matter नहीं करती. Nothing else matters. So make sure that you are 100% aligned with me with respect to answer writing. No, we are not going to do it from day one, but we are going to do it eventually. Now coming to where are we heading to? Some of you know this already. Some of you don't know it, but take it as a revision and take it as something that's going to help you integrate everything that I say from here onwards. So my dear students, you people know that there are two papers to your PSIR optional, paper 1 and paper 2. And each paper is further divided into two sections. So technically, we have 4 sections. But what I want you to think about is, the framework is still the one. And if you think of this as a framework, interlinkage की problem बाद में नहीं आएगी. Later, you're not going to face the problem of interlinkage. How and why? Let's break it down. So point number 1, there are 2 papers. Each of the paper has 2 parts. And these parts are related to each other. But this relation is not something that you're going to understand on day 1. No, it's going to take time. It's going to take a full cycle. And so you have to be patient. From day 1, don't start worrying about value addition. From day 1, don't start worrying about interlinkages. You can't have it on day 1. And that is why the course is for 6 months. And maybe more. 10-15 days मेरे shoot ही होते हैं. So make sure that you're patient along with confidence. So confidence to रखना है, but at the same time you're also patient. So my dear students, your paper 1 has 2 parts. Part 1 is your theory. So basically you read here concepts like power, what is justice, what are rights, what do you mean by democracy, what is ideology, what is the... अभी कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आएगा, and that's fine. If you don't understand any of this, that's okay. But at least you understand that this paper is about how to think. So how to think about a nation from power perspective. How to think about a country from democracy perspective. Do I see justice in the world that I live in? So this is where the theoretical aspects are discussed. Paper 1 part B, where we are going to start, my dear students, is about how India works. So I'm going to teach you about the Indian Constitution. We are going to start with the Indian national movement. What were the different ways of looking at that national movement? What were different thought processes? How did the Indian Constitution came into being? What was the draft process like? What was the thinking of different people who were behind the making of the Indian Constitution? Then, what are the core elements of Indian Constitution? So we are going to talk about preamble, fundamental rights, DPSPs, and no, not just in the way we do in GS, but also with a lot of integration of scholars, of different perspectives, viewpoints, thought processes, and finally also we are going to read about different things that happen in Indian society. For example, caste and its implications in politics. For example, interstate relations. For example, how does federalism roll out in India? How do elections happen? So this paper has the biggest overlap with your GS, my dear students. And that is why when we are beginning with paper 1 part B, you should have a clear aim. While I am preparing this, I will simultaneously prepare for my polity section also. And I am going to tell you how. I'm going to give you very many important practice sheets. I'm going to give you basic material. I'm going to give you tricks. बहुत सारी चीजें हम लोग करेंगे. But what I expect from you is make sure while we are discussing this section, you are up and front with completing your GS2 as well. A big portion of your polity should be complete when we are doing your paper 1 part B. Now your paper 2 part A, my dear students, is your comparative politics. So here we read about how the world works, what are the different types of systems, what is political economy. Here we also read about theories of IR. So we are going to read about what is liberal theory. We are going to read about what is idealist theory, what is realist. Realism कैसे काम करता है international relations में. This is again the theory of IR and the comparative politics aspect. Part B, my dear students, is about India's role in the world. So here we are reading how the world works. Here we are reading how India is behaving in this world. So this paper is about our foreign policy. This paper is about our diplomatic relations. This paper is about how are we dealing with the major powers of the world. What is India's role in UN? How is India helping in peacekeeping? What is India doing in SAARC? What is happening in our neighborhood? How is India impacted by terrorism? How is India impacted by globalization? So India is the focus of your paper 2 part B. Now if you think about it, my dear students, they may look like isolated sections, but they are connected with each other. They go in a thread. And how do they go in a thread? Because when you read about how the world works and integrate how India behaves in it, there is definitely an interconnection that exists. When you understand this, understanding this gets better. And when you're done with all four, you know how to bring one concept in other. And my dear students, once we are done with the syllabus, I'm exactly going to show you how does this integration work, how we are going to bring in concepts from paper 1 part A and integrate it in part B, how paper 2 part A is connected to your paper 1 part B. But for that, you'll have to appreciate the beauty of each subject. Unless you are not good with every section, interconnection will not be possible. So आज के बाद whenever you read toppers saying learn the art of interlinkage, remember interlinkage is going to come only when you are super good with individual sections. That's where interlinkage is going to play its part. This was, my dear students, a breakdown of the syllabus for you so that you understand where you are and where we are going to start with. So this is where we start. In the orientation session, I'm going to exactly show you the syllabus of this part also, PYQs also. But before that, are my students with me? Are we 100% aligned so far? फटाफट से बता do you think you are with me? Awesome. Lovely, lovely, beautiful. Now, before I move on to the next sections, I have a little story for you, and I don't want it to be a passive session. So I want to hear some things from you also. Okay, and I'm doing this for a reason. I want to set some tone right before we begin. So this is a story about, my dear students, an island called as the New Moor Island, also called as the South Talpatti Island, located between India and Bangladesh. What you see on the screen are some headlines from 2010. And these headlines say that New Moor is no more. Now, what is the story? I'm going to tell you in a minute. And then I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, I'm not teaching you anything. I just want to establish something. I just want to prove something. So basically, this island ki story aisi hai. The story is like this, that this island never existed. Ma'am, what do you mean by never existed? So basically, after a cyclone, this island emerged. Emerged as in, it came above the sea level. So it was like a deposition of sediments that was visible after the cyclone. And then we suddenly had a new island which did not existed, but still existed. So हमें नहीं दिखता था, but it always existed. And because of this cyclone, it came to life, and this was a literal deposition of sediments. Now, what happened when this island was now all over the news? Then India and Bangladesh both started claiming territorial occupation or territorial right over this territory of Newmore Island. Why, you ask me? Because, my dear students, there was a speculation that this is going to be a storehouse of gas, and particularly natural gas, is gold mine. If you can discover natural gas somewhere, then you know what becomes the value of that particular place. So India started claiming its occupation over it, and so did Bangladesh. And a new territorial dispute started between India and Bangladesh over South Talpatti or Newmore Islands. Cut to, there were a lot of negotiations, talks. We were not sure how is this going to solve. We were not sure what's going to happen. And there comes the news that due to sea level rise, Newmore has gone below the sea level again. So the island disappeared due to global warming and sea level rise. And the island that both India and Bangladesh were claiming neither belonged to India now nor belonged to Bangladesh. Rather, it disappeared completely. So the dispute was over, and so was the island. And that's why I called this story as the new more to the no more story. So new more say it became no more because it is no longer there. Now I want to ask you some questions. Do you understand the timeline? It emerged because of a cyclone. There was a dispute. There was speculation that there can be natural gas. So both the countries started claiming कि ये हमारा है. And then suddenly there was sea level rise due to global warming, and the island went below waters again. So I have some questions to ask. ये कौन से सब्जेक्ट में पढ़ने वाला टॉपिक है? What are some things that come to your mind by listening to this particular story? Do you think of geography? Do you think of IR? What are some words that come to your mind? What are some concepts that come to your mind? It's okay if you're wrong. I just want you to speak. We're just doing a brainstorming exercise. I'm just trying to prove some point here. Okay. Somebody says geography, IR, economy, IR, environment, geography. Swati says, Ansh says geography, IR, economy. Shivani says IR. Tereem says, say something. Okay. International. Remember, this is an ice-breaking session. We want to be on the same page. This is important. Tehreem says IR, Bharat says environment, Suvira says geography, ecological phenomena, international politics. Very good. Jagdish says environment, Deves says international relations, geography and IR, geography, IR, geography. Very good. Awesome. Aniket says geography, Pulkita, IR. Okay. Loss and damage fund. Yes, Karandeep says, yes, I understood the process. Actually, this is interlinked with a few topics. Correct, Karandeep. You got my point. Geopolitical interest. It can be studied in geography, political science, economy, climate justice. It has aspects of international relations. Very good. So you understand my point here now. This is what interlinkage is. Why did I give you this story was, we have made a lot of buzz about interlinkages and made it appear like something that is very difficult. I don't know why everybody has made it appear like interlinkage is very difficult. Interlinkage से डरते लोग कि हम कैसे interlink करेंगे? How are we going to interlink? What I wanted to prove you was, our brain is primed to interlink. So don't be afraid of looking at things from multidimensional perspective. Actually, God or nature or whoever you believe in has actually primed your brain to think like that. But when you put it under pressure, it actually, even ethics, so right. Even the concept of sovereignty, my dear students, who has control over a territory, is the concept of sovereignty. This topic is about climate change. How climate change has impact over nations. करता कोई है भरता कोई है. So San is right. Ethics is also involved here. It is also about intergenerational justice, that now the future generations are going to pay for the damage that we have done to the environment. It is also international relations. because we are able to discuss here how India and Bangladesh relationship was impacted because of this island that emerged. It is even money, it is economy. This dispute would not have made any sense if it would not have been speculations about natural gas. So economy, absolutely it is about geography, because this island is all about the geographical location, where it is placed, how it is between the India and the Bangladesh territory. So what I'm saying is, you don't need to be obsessed with interlinkage as something that is very difficult to do. I am promising you, it is already there in your brain. Your brain knows it. We are classic examples of people who can interlink. We go to a party, somebody is wearing a particular dress, we are suddenly able to see patterns. उसमें हमें बादल दिख जाते हैं, शेर दिख जाते हैं, उसमें हमारा एक्स दिख जाता है. We are able to see in our whole life in clouds sometime. You look at clouds and you can see your whole life in it. We are primed to think. We are primed to interlink. So the only thing that I wanted to prove here was that interlinkages or understanding things from multiple perspective is something that is there in you. I did not even teach you. You gave me answers. Why were you able to give answers this time? Because I did not put you under pressure situation that you have to do it for an answer. I gave you a story and then you gave me the answers. So basically my point is proven here. I just want you to remember that you have it in you. Interlinkage is not something that is out of the place or it is beyond your capabilities. You just need to be patient. अपने brain को ना थोड़ा trust करो. With the rise in AI, we have stopped trusting our brains. I see my own sister, she would directly go to ChatGPT and write कि इसको ठीक कर. See, I'm again telling you, I am not against AI. I use AI. Nobody should be against AI now, because beyond a point, and of course, water concerns hai, but beyond a point, it is integrated into our lives. But don't make a habit of writing directly to AI. So how I use it is, say I had to make this PPT for you. I took my diary. So I still recommend using hard papers. Keep your brain alive. The only asset that is going to save you now is your brain. So I noted down all the things that I wanted to say to you. I took out my previous presentations. I saw what were missing in it. I added it to my notes and I saw, okay, this is what I want to convey. Then I drew a structure of how it should look like for me. I wrote a text of it and then maybe use it for your PPT generation. So yes, please don't go to AI and start writing on AI. You will lose the ability to think. Thinking should be yours. You can learn articulation, you can learn consolidation, you can use AI to summarize stuff, but not for thinking. Don't outsource your thinking, please. That is my request to you. Otherwise, not just UPSC or PSIR, you are going to be punished in the long run. So we need to strike a balance. AI to seekhna padega. You are living in that space, but very wisely, very intelligently. And I'm going to teach you that also. Just stay. So is my point clear here? Are we going to trust our brains? Do we know that interlinkages are easy? Are we aware that we are primed to think in multidimensional ways? Yes. Yes. Awesome. Lovely. So please trust your brain. We have been gifted with a beautiful brain, okay? Now, what we have done so far is I have mapped you through the syllabus. I have told you where we are going to start with. I've also established how you are capable enough. Please trust your brains. You already know a lot. Now I'm going to tell you what subject are we going to deal with. Because see, you're going to read this subject for long and you should at least know what this subject is about and why this is actually a very beautiful subject and why you should make sure that you are not too deep into the subject but also not very shallow. So you have to do something called as the Madhyam Marg philosophy of Buddha. You don't have to absolutely fall in love with the subject. मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ, don't do that. I am there for it. You don't want to come on this site. मुझे join करना है, पढ़ाना है तो बात अलग है. But if you want to clear this exam, don't be excessively obsessed over political science. But don't be a shallow reader. Because let me tell you, your notification says that you should be a honors in political science. How many of you have read the UPSC notification? How many of you here have read the UPSC notification? जल्दी जल्दी बता दो. Okay, Suvira has read it. Okay. Anybody else? Take a cursory look at it at least. I always recommend एक बार देख लो उसको. AI को बोल दो summarize करने के लिए. But do something. Okay, just take a look at it. Right? So when you look at your um, notification, your notification says, my dear students, that you should be a honors in political science. Not just political science, whatever is your optional, your level of understanding should be that of honors. Now, what is honors? Undergraduate se zyada and masters se kam. Less than masters and more than undergraduate. This is the spot where honors degree falls in. So you should know a little more than people who have done their graduation in political science, but a little less than people who have done their masters. And all of this in 6 months. So that means what? It's an intense bait. I'm not saying it's easy. So that means if I'm just going to read upper se stuff, it's not going to give me marks. Let me tell you, optional is a relative game. Completing the syllabus is not your task. You have to be better than others. You have to be more than the average. And तभी तो फायदा होगा optional लेने का. That's where you are going to be rewarded. That's where you are going to translate it into marks. That's where you are going to get into the list. And that's how you're going to get the rank. So I just want to tell you that this subject is a very wonderful subject. You literally get to answer all these questions. We are going to get answers to who rules. I'm going to teach you topics like authority, legitimacy, how is power distributed in society. We are going to appreciate how power is everywhere. By the end of our discussion, you'll know that power is in hospital also. We think power is only in the corridors of parliament, but power is what you see in hospital. A doctor has power over its patients. A teacher has power over her students. At least I like to believe that. Then we are going to understand who obeys and why. So what is obligation? Do people agree to commands because they like to do what the state says? Or is it because our consent is manufactured? Is it because we are taught to obey from the very first day in school? जब टीचर ने कहा था कि बाल ऐसे नहीं बना के आओगे तो you will be put in punishment. So do we learn to obey? We are going to read. I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just telling you this is the beauty of this subject. We are going to read about justice, which is the core of politics. We are going to read about equality. What are rights? Why are rights so important? Because at the end of the day, political science is about the science of humans which are living together. सोच के देखना. So how do we live together effectively is actually political science. If there was no political science, we would still be living together, but maybe not this effectively. So how do you manage this collective coming together? Okay, let's have elections. Let's have a representative. सोच के देखो how beautiful it is. Human life is being managed because of a subject called as political science. बड़ा बदनाम है ये subject, but if you look at it, it's one of the most beautiful subjects. It has been distorted, it has been used, manipulated. It is one of the most beautiful ways humanities can live in peace if it wants to. And that's exactly what you're going to read. And that's where you should remember the 4 sections. Part A, Part B, Part A, Part B. That's where the beauty of it lies, my dear students. And no, it's not just theory. It's actually theory meeting real life. तो मैं बहुत बार लोगों से पूछती हूँ तो they will tell me, ma'am, I don't like political science because it is abstract. It is abstract. It is literally shaping your life. Imagine not knowing your rights. Imagine not going to vote. Imagine not knowing how IR. Acha, abhi, just see. Is the Israel-Iran war not impacting you? Is the US-Israel-Iran war has no impact over you? You are a fool if you think that. Please go and calculate your monthly budgets. Ask your parents. Subtly, so many things, the prices have shot up. Please go and check. It has changed the way we live. It has changed the way Indians are spending. Something happened in Iran. Why should it impact me? The LPG crisis. And you tell me that political science is abstract. We live political realities every day. We are shaped by political realities every day. So it is anything but abstract. It may appear abstract to you because there is no definite answer sometimes. So no, I'll not say Amartya Sen is absolutely right, or B.R. Ambedkar is absolutely right, or Mahatma Gandhi is absolute. In some places, maybe Dr. Ambedkar has absolute beautiful ideas, but in some ways, Rawls has absolutely beautiful ideas. So yes, there can be different ideas, but that does not mean this optional or this subject is not real. It is as real, and I'm not saying this only for the love of this subject. I'm really telling you, if you start appreciating it now, you see that it is everywhere. It's the way you live in, it's the way your life is shaped, it's the way you take decisions. Policies impact you. Maternity leave has a direct impact on women's life, which is, by the way, a political matter, a policy making matter. So be assured that you're not just going to study a subject, you're going to live a reality, because this is not an abstract subject for sure. And why am I telling you all of this? अरे कुछ करने वाले हो तो मजा भी तो आना चाहिए. I always say do it for marks. Yes, do it for marks. And I have no shame in saying, and I'll say that again and again. I don't want you to become teachers unless you want to. So I want you to be selfish and read it for marks. But at the same time, read it for marks also. So what I'm trying to say is, you should have that energy that I'm going to read a subject which is a beautiful subject. This is a subject that teaches me about what is happening around me, what is happening in the world, how my life is impacted because of it. Imagine, take it as an opportunity. So many students come to me and say, Kali, मुझे एक बहुत ऐसा mail आया where a student was very discouraged कि नहीं हो रहा मैम मेरे से 6 months into the preparation. And I'll just tell you one thing, my dear students. It is a privilege to study. And the more you realize this, the more you'll realize that there are so many people around you who want to study, but they are not able to. So if you are able to spend time and money for a course like today, then please consider yourself privileged, because studying, spending time reading, you know what? In ancient times, servants had no opportunity to read. It was reserved for the masters. And that's wrong. I'm not supporting that. But I'm trying to tell you something that is taken so granted by us today. And in fact, we crib about it or we cry about it, is a privilege. Not everybody gets this chance to read a subject, to understand it. And imagine you're going to go into time. We are going to read Plato. We are going to read Marx. We are going to read Ambedkar. These people have existed in different timelines. They have a different thought process. They had a way of looking at world. How fascinating it is that in 6 months you get to read all of them. You get to understand them. Once in life you get to know Marx ne kya bola. Once in life you get to understand what Plato said. Once in life you know what Ambedkar said about justice. So please don't treat it as a burden. It is an opportunity, trust me. To be able to do this is a privilege. And if you think about it, when you emerge from all this process, you are definitely a changed human. And this is an opportunity that I want you to take note of and to celebrate and to enjoy. However, I'll also like you to learn from mistakes of people like me and others like me, and don't fall in love with this subject. ये मुझे बोलना जरूरी है, मैं हर क्लास में बोलती हूँ. Every class I say this when we begin, because this happens with some people. Eventually what happens is you forget. No, so now what I'm going to say next should be very important and should be cemented in your hearts forever. Please remember, why are you reading political science? Can somebody tell me in the chat box? क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं हम PSIR optional? After all of this discussion, why are we reading PSIR optional? What is the purpose? Subira says to give UPSC, Swati says to clear UPSC, Ujjwal says for clearing the exams, Hariom says to understand how our society is governed. Understand, fine. Maximize score, excel in exam. But at the end of the day, what is the purpose? It should give you a rank. And I don't want you to forget it. Yes, enjoy the subject. I'm going to make sure that you enjoy the subject. That's a promise. But never lose sight of your ultimate goal. Never. And I'm going to tell you why. There is going to be a time, I'm going to tell you, होगा, पहले ही बता रही हूँ, this is going to happen. There's going to be a day when you are going to love reading IRK articles on a particular issue. That day is going to come. And you will be tempted कि चलो दो चार आर्टिकल और पढ़ लेती हूँ. Let me read one more prep article. Let me watch one more discussion. Let me listen to one more argument. And that time, remember, the goal is to clear exam and not to become a master or a scholar or a PhD in the subject. Because at the end of the day, it is all about relative performance in other sections also. It is a very fascinating subject. Many of you will think, मजा आ गया, मजा आना चाहिए, you should enjoy it, but use this optional. And I will sound very wrong saying this, but I'll still say it. This optional is a tool. Don't make it an end. It is not an end in itself. End का मतलब समझते हो? Don't make it everything. You have to exploit this optional. You have to use it like a tool. Tool to make sure that you get the rank that you desire. Absolutely possible, Ramraj. Why not? Absolutely possible. So, ma'am, but what do you mean by this? आपके कहने का मतलब क्या है? What are you trying to say? If something is not in my syllabus, I'm not going to spend time on it. Even if it is very fascinating, even if it is very likely that I would enjoy it, even if it is something that I absolutely love reading. Why? Because optional or subject is not my priority. My priority is UPSC ka demand. And that is why my tools are the syllabus. That is why my tools are the PYQs. This is a very important point. Reading 10 hours, not writing one answer. This is loving the subject, but not loving the exam. You have to love and clear the exam, not the subject. Pada, know where to stop, when to start answer writing, and when to revise. So, no, you don't have to go into rabbit holes. Do you understand what are rabbit holes? किसी ने यहाँ पे rabbits देखे हैं क्या? Have you seen rabbits? Have you seen rabbits digging these holes? चलो rabbits नहीं देखे होंगे, सुना तो होगा rabbits के बारे में. What is rabbit hole? Anybody who can tell me? अच्छा नहीं नहीं, I'm not talking about the movie यार. I don't know what movie. But what do you mean by... So basically, rabbits make these very deep holes. And rabbit hole means when you're deeply engrossed in something, you're very curious, you will find out everything about it. You're going to read 10 articles, 5 Substack, read newspapers, read books to find the answer to a particular question. So rabbit hole is when you get too much into the subject. You get too deep into the subject because you're so curious now. अरे यार ऐसा क्यों किया था प्लेटो ने यार, I want to find out. And when you go too deep and when it is not guided, you drift away from the exam preparation because remember, you have only a fixed number of hours in a day. You have only a limited number of hours. Everybody appreciates that. In that, you have to do your GS also. In that, you have to do your PYQs also. In that, you have to read your newspapers also. So please avoid going into these rabbit holes. Stick to the notes that have been provided to you. If I ever ask you to read an article, please read it. Otherwise, please stick to the content that has been provided to you. And no, I don't mean to say कि don't be interested in the subject. There is a difference. जो पढ़ रहे हो उसमें interested रहो. What you're reading, you should be interested in it. More important is what you're reading, you should retain it. More important is what you're reading and retaining, you should be able to write it. So what should be your priority? Read, understand, repeat, write. Read, understand, repeat, write. And that's why, my dear students, you have taken up for a course, no? What is the purpose of taking up a course? Because now I exactly know that this has to be done. पढ़ाई तो हो ही जाएगी, but also I know कि okay, this is what I have to read. So once you have that, Avoid going into rabbit holes. Avoid loving this subject. Like it, use it as a tool, and remember what is the purpose. If you don't remember the purpose, then you're going to, and I've seen this happening. This happened to people like me and around me. So nahi karna hai wo. You don't have to love the subject. You have to only use it. Are we here, my dear students? Are we 100% aligned? What you've signed up for is a very beautiful journey. It's going to, and I've stick to my time limit. Now I'm going to tell you what you have to do from here onwards. And then I'm open for all the questions that you have. So let me just summarize what all we have discussed today. And then I'm going to tell you what are my expectations from you for the next 4-5 days. I started by telling you how does the schedule look like. Today was me introducing you to this beautiful subject, telling you that you are capable of doing it. Tomorrow is going to be some basic discussion from your class 11th NCERT. Some key concepts I'll be teaching you, more like foundational concepts. 17th is going to be an orientation where I'm going to tell you what, how to study, where to study from, how to make notes, everything. And 20th April, we begin with our classes. I reminded you that we are starting early. It is an advantage. Please make sure that this advantage is in your favor. Please 4 classes dekhkar ruk mat jana. Please don't stop after watching 4 lectures and thinking ki 3 saal ki recording hai, we'll do. Don't do that. That's like fooling yourself. I also told you that it is very important that you understand the demand when it comes to optional. Why do people fail? They don't know what the syllabus is. And that is your homework number 1 for today. After this class, my dear students, on your portal, you are going to find the syllabus of PSIR. Today's task, and these 2-3 days, the task that you have to complete is you have to read every word given in the syllabus and particularly read paper 1 part B in detail. If you can memorize it, I'll be more than happy. But at least broadly know what are the topics given in your paper 1 part B. Get a printout of the syllabus, stick it somewhere or just keep it on your desk. But make sure that you are giving at least 1 hour of your time to the syllabus. The syllabus will be available to you on your portal after this session. Another thing that I want you to do is to have a look at PYQs. The PYQ booklet will also be available to you on the portal after this session. It has 13 years PYQs arranged into thematic manner. None of it is going to make sense to you. None of it will make sense if you have never been a optional PSIR student or political science student. But I don't care. I don't want you to make sense of what has been asked. I just want you to see how questions are asked. I just want you to see how are things repeated. I just want you to understand the language of UPSC. That's it. I just want that you're familiar with the PYQs. So second homework is for your paper 1 part B, read and reread the PYQs 2 to 3 times. And again take a printout of the PYQs and keep it with you. These are the only 2 things that I expect from you right now. One more expectation would be after tomorrow's class. But that is the only expectation that I have right now from you. I also gave you the framework. With this story, I told you how you already know what you need to know. Please have some faith on your brain. It's a human, it's a marvel, it's a beauty. How else do you think we are able to do so much on this earth? So, kabhi mujhe aisa lagta hai na, somebody asked me, how are you able to manage so many things? I'll tell you what my thought process is. We literally have to read these. We have to just teach them. You have to, somebody literally went into space. Somebody made rocket. Somebody designed satellites. You literally only have to read कि वो satellite कैसे काम करती है. Somebody like Plato gave you the allegory of the cave. You have to literally only read it. And you think that's difficult? No. It's very easy. It's very doable. You have it in you. And then we understood the beauty of this subject. And then I told you that your study has to be purpose-driven no matter what. Now the house is open for all the questions that you may have. If you are absolutely aligned with me, please let me know. And if you have any doubts and queries, if you have any queries about note making, how to use detailed notes, when the detailed notes will be available, then all of that will be answered in the orientation session. A complete set of notes for your paper 1 part B will be uploaded on your portal before the 20th of April. So if you want to take a download of it, you can do that also. And I'm also, अब इसको पढ़ना start मत करना. I am going to tell you how to use them. There's a way they have been designed, and there's a way we are going to read it. So take it slow, take it steady, but be absolutely purpose driven. So how is the energy from where we started to where we are now? Now you can start throwing up all the questions that you have. San says, ma'am, I have a few questions. Will there be a Telegram group specially for the students who have enrolled here? So right now we don't have any such Telegram group. If need be, we'll make it. However, this is my email ID. So I've seen these groups waste a lot of time with respect to discussions, etc. And I don't want that to happen. So if at all we'll need it for some kind of coordination, we'll make it. As of now, we don't have a group like that. However, this is my email ID where you can write to me in case you have any doubts, any queries. And of course, mentorship is also going to start very soon. So this is the email ID that you must take note of. neelam.bhatia@upsc.prep.com. neelam.bhatia@upscprep.com. Please take a note of it and make sure that you understand it very, very nicely, and note it down somewhere and just write to me whenever you want to. Now, the second question that you have is, where can we find the PSIR monthly magazine? Okay. So PSIR monthly magazine for the month of March will be also out by 20th of April. It will be available to you under a folder called as PSIR Fix. And every week, every month when it is out, it will be uploaded there. And you will also find it on the Telegram channel. For you, it will also be available on the portal under a separate heading called as PSIR Fix. We are going to start with March ka upload from this on this 20th of April. And that's where you can start reading with. March ki padhna chaho pad sakte ho. At last April, though, you have to start. If you look at your schedule, I've also given time where you can read PSIR Fix. Having said that, it's also good if you read March. That also give you a head start. So it is good from that perspective also. Okay. Suvira says, ma'am, we have to print the entire PYQ booklet. See, this is on you. If you really think you are somebody who is a visual learner, better, I recommend you do that, right? But if you're not somebody who is okay with digital readings also, then I'm fine. What I suggest is, at least take out the printout of paper 1 part B. See if the printout helps you. If not, then you can go back to the digital medium, or you can stick to the print format. So do what works for you. Okay. San, I hope that answers your query. Durba Das says, how many years of PYQs? So we'll be doing 13 years ke PYQs, and the booklet also has 13 years of PYQs arranged in thematic manner. Ujjwal says, ma'am, I have my target is to score 280 plus marks. Why 280? Keep the target of 300. We are going to do 300. Why not? Karandeep is saying, ma'am, why do you are starting with paper 1 part B instead of part A? Okay. So first thing is, does not really matter. If you want to start with some other section also, we can do it. But there are primarily two reasons for it. One, this is the section which has huge overlap with your polity. And since most of you are beginning with your preparation, if you're able to do this part nicely, you'll be done with a good portion of your polity also. Some of you may be reading polity as a part of your foundation course also. So there would be a very good integration, because paper 1 part B is all about Indian Constitution, federalism, which is more or less your polity. Having said that, at the end of the day, all 4 parts are equally important. I don't mean to say that part B is prioritized over part A. Don't think like that. It is only so that you can align your preparations with polity. Roshni says, ma'am, how do we integrate GS2 prep along with our PSIR prep? Don't worry, Roshni. That is exactly what we are going to understand in the orientation session. Particularly how you're going to do it for paper 1 part B. So I'm going to exactly tell you what will be provided to you, what is expected from you, what I'll be giving you. Just wait till the orientation and your doubt will be cleared. Pulkita says, ma'am, I have not covered polity. Will I be able to understand PSIR? Absolutely. As I said, we are going to start from the very basics. But that does not mean कि आपको effort नहीं करने पड़ेंगे. Nothing that I say today should make you believe that, okay, now I've signed up for a course, then I can relax. I never said that. Neither I've said this in the promotions, nor I'll say this today. Your efforts are needed, Baba. Where you have to do those efforts, how you have to do those efforts is my problem. But efforts will be needed. Starting what months do we have to read? So at least you should start April. So April means the magazine will be available in May. But better begin with March so that you're already oriented with the magazine. Okay. Awesome, son. Very good. So Veera. Okay. Bharat says, shall we know how many hours dedicated to PSIR and how long our will session? Yes, absolutely. So basically, Bharat, the session is going to be for 2.5 hours. It's going to be a 2.5 hours ka class. Eventually, when we are done with some section of our syllabus, we are going to make it 2 hours, 15 minutes of teaching and 15 minutes to answer writing. Okay. We are not going to begin with answer writing from day one because we need to do a particular section of syllabus before we begin with answer writing. So at least 2.5 hours मान के चलो, it can be 10-15 minutes extra. More or less we wind it up in 2.5 hours. We also do answer writing. Sometimes we may take special sessions on Sundays also for answer writing, but that is up to you. If you don't want to attend, that's fine. If you will attend, it will be good for you. So that's absolutely for you. Now, how much time should you dedicate? I would have covered it in the orientation, but my expectation from you is after your class, 1 hour at least you should give. So effectively 3.5 hours to 4 hours every day, Bharat. More on this in the orientation class. Okay. Indranil says, makes a lot of sense. Looking forward to spend the next few. Very good. I am also very excited. Awesome, Ramraj. Beautiful. So that PYQ booklet will also be there on the portal. Please use it. Swati says, ma'am, ideally, how many hours should be spent on optional preparation in a day? So as I said, Swati, 2.5 hours of class plus 1.5 hours after it, at least 4 hours you should be giving so that you complete things on time and a little extra on a Sunday maybe. Okay. Aniket says, ma'am, will you be dictating certain topics or will you give notes only? So I am not somebody who is very keen on giving you dictations. And I'll tell you why. You end up writing without understanding anything. It takes a lot of time and does not translate into anything fruitful. You feel you have done a lot, but you don't do a lot. So uske liye we do something else, which again I would have explained you during the orientation session, but just a quick heads up. No, you don't have to write anything. Sometimes I may give you some definitions. Sometimes we may draw some charts and maps that may be for understanding purpose, brainstorming purpose. Otherwise, what I'll teach you is how to make summary notes. And that's where I need your input. We also do some active recall sessions, but more on that in the orientation session. Abhi ke liye to answer your questions. Question, no, I'm not dictating anything. Everything will be provided to you through the notes. If there is something extra that day, discussion mein kuch aa gaya, so I'll tell you, okay, no, note it down, Ankit. Make sense? Tamanna says, ma'am, someone told me that practicing PYQ repeatedly will work more than test series. They advise me to write each answers by PYQs are very important. Their advice is right. They are not wrong. It absolutely. In fact, in our answer writing sessions, we are going to do PYQs only, Tamanna. So whoever has told you this is absolutely right. PYQs are very, very, very important. But that does not mean test series nahi karni hai. The test that you have signed up for, we have designed it on the theme of PYQs only. The answer writing sessions that we'll be having will be on PYQs only. So whoever has given you that advice, it's a golden advice. Please stick to it. Got it, got it. San says, ma'am, will mentorship be strictly on PSI? Effectively, yes, San. So, ऐसा नहीं, I mean, of course, if we are meeting, you can ask your life questions also. But no, it is not related. You can't ask questions on economy, on geography, and I'll tell you why. We are not experts of it. So, me and some more mentors are going to be there for PSI. There are people who have written their mains with PSIR, interview with PSIR, or their subject is PSIR. So you can't expect अब मेरे से तुम मैथ्स पूछोगे तो मैं नहीं बता पाऊंगी ना. So that way the mentorship cannot be on CSAT on maths. But yes, beyond it, if you have some preparation related doubts, if you are stuck with something, of course you can discuss it. So no, not strictly to PSIR, but no, other subjects will not be taken up. Yeah. Can somebody write something in the Q&A? I can see some questions in Q&A, but I'm not able to click on that button. Can somebody just write something in the Q&A section? Thank you. Right. Thank you. I'll just check the Q&A as well. Hariom says, is it possible to score 330 plus in PSIR? थोड़ा सा हाई टारगेट हो गया हरिओम. I'll not say it is impossible. Anything is possible for sure. This time around, not many have, crossed 300, but there was a time when people scored 310. So 330 ambitious. ये क्या हो गया? My camera is off. Able to hear me? You people are able to hear me? Okay, okay. ठीक है. So, Hariom, let's see if you can do it. Rugved says, ma'am, is there a dedicated place to go for PYQs? So you are asking where do you find these PYQs? Yes. So Rugved, in the portal only, today after this session, when you will go to the portal, that PDF is going to be there. And if you are asking for solutions, eventually we are going to provide you the model answers also as and when we progress with the topics. So the discussions that we have in class will be compiled into model answers, and you will get model answers to PYQs also, if that was your question. Yes. Ujjwal says, ma'am, can we match our answers with model answers of ChatGPT? Yes, you can do it. But what I'm saying is, give some content to ChatGPT. ऐसा कर सकते हो Ujjwal. You are giving your detailed notes to ChatGPT and then saying कि based on this, check my answer, give me a feedback. Don't do it randomly because it hallucinates a lot. So I mean, it can just make a committee that does not exist. है ना? So like that. Okay, perfect. So in the checking panel, I am there. Also, there are people who have written PSIR say mains. There are people who have written PSIR say interview. Those are the people who will be checking your copies. And all of this is under my guidance. What else? Ma'am, what if I'm not sure if I can do PSIR or not? Pulkita, but then you signed up for the course. If that is a problem, please sign up for the free mentorship session that is still going on. उससे link से join करो and meet me. Why do you want to waste your time? Don't do that, Pulkita. You are investing money, time here. Make sure that you take the decision nicely. Just speak to me after the session. Write an email. I'll send you the link for the mentorship and I'll speak to you. Aniket says, ma'am, will you be teaching in bilingual mode or mono? So again, this is a very important question. And I request you people, wherever you study, optional don't study in English. There is no language like English. Can you write answers in English? No. So there were a lot of students last year who told me, ma'am, can we read in English? And I told them one thing. Even if you are coming from a background where you don't understand English very nicely, attend classes in English for optional. Give your teacher 1 week. After 1 week, everything is going to make sense. But what will you do? You're going to sign up for a English course. You think in English. You write in English. You are not able to articulate your answers. Because let's face it, answers have to be written in English only, no? So, Aniket, to answer your question, no, it's going to be English only. It's not going to be a mix of Hindi and English. Of course, if you don't understand something, if there's something that you have not made sense of, I can repeat it in Hindi. but primary teaching language would be English. And I'll tell you, this is something that you should also do. The language that you're going to write answers in is the language that you should be hearing. I hope that makes sense. Can we refer topo copies to it? हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल Bharat. I'm going to teach you that. Don't worry about that right now. Quotes, templates, understand something. All of the things that you're talking about is value addition. When do you add value? When you have something to add value to. केक ही नहीं है तो उसमें फ्रॉस्टिंग कैसे करोगे? हाउ आर यू गोइंग टू frost, or how are you going to decorate a cake if there is no cake? So right now let's focus on content. What you are teaching, what you're talking about is actually the frosting. So wait, right? So yes, the classes are going to be in English, and value addition will be taken care of, but we'll have to wait for it a little. Yes, the classes are going to be at 11 a.m. only. However, the recording, Hariom, will be available the same day. If you are working and if you would like to watch the recording, then my suggestion to you would be, please watch the recording very same day. And please try and attend the doubt sessions live, the answer writing sessions live, the mentorship sessions live, so that you can get your questions answered. Ma'am, can we please repeat again how many hours should we spend on optional at the moment? I'm still in my early stages of preparation. Okay. So 2.5 hours attend the class and 1.5 hour after the class. What do you have to do in that 1.5 hour? I'm going to tell you. Just wait for the orientation session. What exactly needs to be done? What is that I expect from you? I'm going to tell you everything. Roughly, if you're trying to make a schedule 4 hours. If you can give 4.5 hours, perfect. But schedule 4 hours, 2.5 hours for classes, and 1.5 hour for your self-study after those classes. And 1 or 2 hour extra on a Sunday. That is what I expect from you. What you have to do in it, that I'm going to tell you. Just wait for the 17th session. So do I assume that my students are absolutely charged up, happy, as they were in the beginning? They're not afraid. They trust their capabilities. They know that they will be able to do it. You are a wonderful creation of God. You can do anything that you put your mind to. कैसे हो सकता है तुम नहीं कर सकते? तुम सब कर सकते हो. You can do anything. This is nothing. I told you, people have designed rockets. Somebody designed a rocket. Somebody designed a satellite. We just have to read and write answers. Is that so difficult? It is not. Remove your mental blocks. We'll do it. Okay. Awesome. Then I'm going to, yes. Awesome. Lovely. So just a reminder, after about half an hour, just refresh the portal, download the syllabus, download the PYQs, and I'm going to see you tomorrow at 11. And we are going to understand some basic concepts from your class 11th NCRT. If you have already read that NCRT and would like to take a look at it before coming to the class tomorrow, lovely. If you don't have that time, that's also okay. I'm going to discuss what is required. So I'm going to see you tomorrow at 11, and tomorrow it's going to take full 2.5 hours. So be prepared for that. Class 11th NCRT Pulkita, our Constitution at Work. It's class 11th ka NCRT, Indian Constitution at Work. Okay, Pulkita? If you want, I'll also upload a PDF of it on the portal. मैं उसकी भी PDF डाल दूंगी. If you want to take the PDF of it, you can use it. I'll repeat my email ID also, neelam.bhatia@upscprep.com. I don't promise you this is going to be easy, but I'm promising you that it's going to be fun, and I'm going to make it simpler for you. But that does not mean it's easy. Effort तो भाई डालने पड़ेंगे. Effort will have to come from you. Okay then, bye-bye. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless you. Awesome, Karandeep. See you. Take care.